Hi, this is the very highly requested case on Colleen Ritzer and her senseless murder. Viewer discretion is advised. Colleen Ritzer was a math teacher at Danvers High School in Danvers, Massachusetts. She was 24, just starting life after being a recent college grad, and she was already doing so well. She was loved by everyone at the school, especially students, and she was known to be so caring and supportive of them. She stayed after school every day in case students needed to come in and get help on homework or anything. She also used this as an opportunity to invite one of her students in for like an introductory conversation. That student was 14-year-old Philip Chisholm. During this conversation that he's having with Colleen, Colleen mentions Tennessee to him. Tennessee is where he just moved from. And he gets visibly angry when she mentions this. This is apparently because not only were his parents divorced in Tennessee, but apparently his father was abusive to him back home when they were married. It's never been confirmed, but they believe that this caused him to snap and target Colleen. At around 3 p.m., Colleen steps out of her classroom just to go to the bathroom. She's just going to the bathroom. Following right behind her is Philip in his first outfit, which is a blue hoodie. He does spot the security camera in the live footage, so he puts the hood on, hoping to disguise himself. It does not work. Graphic description ahead. So while he is following her into the bathroom, he puts on gloves, and then inside the bathroom, he takes out a box cutter, slits Colleen's throat 16 times, then rapes her. She was apparently still alive while that happened. Afterwards, he puts her body in this trash can and takes her out of the school. He takes off the red hoodie, and here he is. This dog in the video is going absolutely berserk. He's barking his head off because he unfortunately knew before anyone else did. In the woods, Philip does assault Colleen with a branch and then just leaves her to die. He then takes her credit card to go buy Taco Bell, and then he goes to see a Woody Allen movie at the movie theater. He's found by police a little bit after midnight and is immediately taken into custody. While in custody, he tries to attack a staff member at the youth facility in the prison with a pencil. Luckily, someone walked by and heard the commotion, and that staff member was saved. It could have been very awful if no one walked by. Philip received no charges for the staff member attack, but he received 40 years in prison for the murder of Colleen. Should have been life. I pray Colleen is at peace now. This is just awful. Awful case.
This 7-year-old boy got his own mother convicted after telling the judge about the horrors he had to witness, without knowing that she was also in the courtroom.
What is this right here?
My mama.
Okay. And what is she doing?
Killing my sister.
Did you draw a picture?
Yes, sir.
What is this right here?
My mother's arm.
Your mother's arm?
Yes, sir.
If I told you your mother was in the courtroom here today, would that be the truth?
No, sir.
That would not be the truth. Why is that? Because she's not in the courtroom?
No, sir.
Where is your mother?
Jill.
That woman sitting right there between them. Have you ever seen her before?
Yes, sir.
Who is that?
My mother.
Now you recognize your mother?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, James. Hey, James.
Yes, sir.
Give me your hand. All right. Here. Here.
Something that is just a weird fear of mine is doctors pretending to be doctors. Like not actually having their licensure, but just playing the role and secretly killing people while doing so. And yes, this has happened before. The most haunted hotel in America is known as the Crescent Hotel. I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but I loved staying up at night watching ghost hunters. I would run around with my little EMF detector seeing if I could find ghosts myself. Well, my favorite episode of Ghost Hunters actually covered the Crescent. They ended up actually making contact with one of the ghosts, but I never really deep dived into how creepy this hotel's history actually is. So the Crescent Hotel was built in 1986. And it was a resort for the wealthy, rich, and powerful. But pretty fast, they found this whole hotel to be very unmanageable. And it was weirdly very accident prone in the building process. There was a stonemason named Michael who passed away, but we'll get to that later. Well, it reopened in 1908 as a college for girls. This photo gives me very much Midsummer vibes. While this college was considered prestige, they covered up a death.
'Cause I never
Let's talk about a girl who spent 44 days in hell. Her name is Jonku Furuta, and she was 16 years old at the time. She was very popular at school because of her beauty, but not only that, she was extremely book smart. She was a straight A student. One day while at school, a boy who was affiliated with a very dangerous gang asked her out, and she rejected him. He took the rejection to heart, and he set up a plan to kidnap her with his friends. The kidnapping was successful, and they took Jonku back to one of the houses that the boy's parents owned. 2 days after her missing, her family put in a missing persons report. Everybody in Japan was looking for her. So the boys made her call her parents and tell them that she was safe and that she was just with a friend. The parents that owned the house knew that Jonku was there, but they were paid hush money to stay silent, as well as they were scared to say anything to the police because they knew what the boys were capable of. Things are about to get graphic, so this is your chance to scroll away. They kept her naked for most of the time to humiliate her. They took turns raping her. She was raped by more than 100 men, more than 500 times. And one time there was a day where she was raped 12 times back to back. Most of the time after they were finished doing that to her, they would often pee on her. They would smash her face into cement and beat her with golf clubs. They would make her touch herself in front of the men to turn them on before they would rape her. They would stick all sorts of crazy objects inside of her, from scissors, needles, iron rods, and one time there was a hot light bulb that they forced inside of her and twisted it around until it popped inside of her. Sometimes they would grab fireworks and shove them up her butt and light them. Other times they would have a big weight and drop them on her stomach while her hands are tied above her head. They would tie her from the ceiling and punch her like she was a punching bag. During this time it was winter and below freezing, so they would make her sleep outside on the balcony. They would burn her eyelids with hot wax, and they even crushed her hands so much that she couldn't hold anything. It would take her about an hour to crawl downstairs just to use the restroom. She was severely dehydrated and malnourished because of the fact that she couldn't eat, and whenever she did, she would throw it up because her organs were so damaged. Her suffering came to an end when she won a game against the boys, and they put lighter fluid all over her face, arms, torso, and legs, and they lit her on fire. She fell into shock, and they thought that she was just pretending to die, but she was actually dead. So they filled this huge drum with cement and shoved her body down there. Then they disposed of her somewhere in Tokyo. While being questioned about a different case, one of the boys thought that they were talking about Jonku, and he quickly admitted to everything and told the police where her body was and all the horrible things that they did to her. The time they got was very short. I believe the highest one of the boys received was 20, and the rest of the boys were sentenced below that. So they're now all in their mid-30s.